Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third annual Butterball Thanksgiving Classic. This is a one-off event that I really like enjoying, and it's really the only thing I end up doing on my own channel anymore. As if you're wondering where I've been, I have been over on the NSDCA channel helping Brandon Morris run the NSDCA. Go check them out if you haven't yet. But just like old times here, as always, the night before Thanksgiving, we are at a track that is not a 2-miler, not a 2-mile D oval like we have seen at the first year at California under the lights and in the daytime at Michigan. This time we are under the lights at a symmetrical version, a fictional version here, Texas symmetrical. So both straightaways are quad ovals. Anyways, let's take a look here at your 42 starters for tonight's event. 84 laps of action await us. So on the pole first is the number 36. That would be Austin Murray. To his outside is the number 15 of Sam Picard. Then in row 2, you have Christian Vargas and Tib Foster. Row number 3 sees William Duncan and the 21, Antoine Smith. Riley Spurley tubes to the outside of DJ Reed, and then rounding out your top 10 is Ben Crouch and the 54, Jake Bruning. Behind him, we have the 0, Mac Johnson, and the 07 of Jesse Turner. And it's LJ Toledo and Austin Delgado. Behind them, you have Tommy Hurdson and the 51, Jacob Edson. Daniel Bouchard, Vince Freeze, and then Larry Hagan and Zachary Bilson. Mitchell Collins there in the 22, and Diego Yepes in the 74. Zachary DeLello in the 38, which is outside Theo Spilletzer. And then it is the 11, Dylan Young, and the 98 of Shade Eves. Anderson Reed starts behind him. To his outside, the 08 of Josh King. And the Arians 99 that you have Priya McShane. To her inside is the number 1 Allstate Parts and Service Group, Chevy Skylar Dixon. Behind them is Brandon Morris and AJ Jones, two familiar faces. As we go deep into the field, it's the 68 of Dusty Neal and the 12 of Cody Smart. Further on back, you have Zachary Fitzwater Sr. there in the 93 and Jari Matti Hapalainen in the 47. Logan Cloud starts at the outside of the 2018, the first Butterball Thanksgiving Classic winner, Brad Cheston. And right behind Cheston is the number 20 of Jake Galloway, last year's winner. Galloway did start deep in the field last season. He's hoping to do it again. To his outside is Tristan Wilhoit. On the last row, unfortunately for these guys, they'll be having to find some luck like Galloway did last year to make it to the field. You have Patrick Smith and Jay Jefferson. Let's get these engines fired up for 84 laps of action under the lights here in Texas.
Drivers, start your engines!
Field 42 will roar to life here on the backstrap section of the quad oval. As you see here, the dominating Texas Motor Speedway grandstands here on both sides of the racetrack. However, the turns are a bit asymmetrical this time out, as it is like new Texas, the regular Texas, where here turns 3 and 4, they are the 24 degrees of banking and narrower, just like the old track, but turns 1 and 2 are the newer, wider 20 degrees of banking. So you got some symmetry and some asymmetry here, but that's this Texas version. And yeah, some of the cars in the mod, some of the MIPs around the track, a little messed up, but I think we can all look past that. For 84 laps of action here under the lights, let's go green. Murray leads them down, and we are green flag racing here in the Lone Star State. A slow jump from DJ Reed there on the bottom as they all fan out. Looks like the inside line got a good launch ahead of that, but Reed already making a move underneath that 21, making it 3 wide here early as Picard slips back up high and Duncan challenging under Vargas here for second. 3 wide right behind them. It's going to be tight here early on, trying to make sure you make no mistakes, get through cleanly. Oh, a little bit of contact there between the 0 and the 07. That's Crouch and Turner, but Duncan hounds the back of the 36, Austin Murray, for the race lead. Funneling into 1 and 2. This isn't really the trouble spot. It's turns 3 and 4 that these drivers have to watch out for when they're 3, maybe even 4 wide. 4 wide really doesn't work here. But now the top 2 are clear of the pack. Picard looking underneath Vargas there now for 3rd. Duncan checks up a little bit into the corner. Couldn't quite keep it down there, trailing to 36. 2 laps in the books. I thought I saw a car off the distance. Must have been a caution light or something. But Murray breaking up a little bit of advantage here as Duncan now challenging by his JD Motorsports teammate there in Sam Picard in that 15. Coming into turn 3. The packs have really split now. The top like 20 or so have broken away. And it is like 2, 3 wide back here. Even 4 wide. This might not work. But AJ Jones really backs off. That's going to save them. Patrick Smith into the grass. But they save it back here. Unbelievable driving by these guys here. And some of these guys, you know, it's their 3rd Classic. So they've been around the block. They know how to control these cars when they're all bunched up here early. Back to the front, though. Murray still leads Picard, but DJ Reed, that would be Murray's teammate. They're 4 wide, pushing down. Delgado gets shoved by Vargas. They're going to save it. The 2 Supras have been rubbing together. How did they save those race cars? They don't in the back. DeLello's around. We're going to crash big here. Oh, man. Bruning gets a little bit of air as they pile up on the front straightaway. We're under caution early. Jay Jefferson, the Texan, he's in it. DeLello destroyed. Jake Galloway, Brandon Morris, they're all torn up. LJ Toledo as well. And that is an early wreck, and that's going to take out some of the fan favorites. Racing back, how are we? Only Austin Murray did not take the caution flag. Everybody behind them, Picard and such, did, and they will be all filing up orderly. But boy, that's a wreck early nobody really wanted to see, but almost inevitable with how bunched up these guys are. Looks like Zachary Bilson got in it. That's Josh King. Cody Smart beat up on the back end. But yeah. Oh boy. Well, let's take a look. They're probably going to pit here. Oh, they actually get into it back here. Happelainen and Bruning. We'll have to take a look at that as well. Hopefully he doesn't mess with these guys if they're trying to pit. Hopefully not, but Murray's going to probably lead the field on in here. Now, the fuel window here is about, like, I want to say, like, 32 to 35 laps. So, it's going to be important that these guys all come in and pit here early. Don't want to take any risks. You got the caution now. You might not later in the race, as Brad Cheston really comes in hot there. All these guys trying to bunch back up, but they should be all right. Let's take a look back to the front of the field, see how these guys fare on their stops. Now that's Logan Cloud coming down. He had damage there early on, so he probably hit the first lap, and he will. Yeah, he's probably going to be on the tail end of the lead lap, but Christian Vargas is down and away before everybody else. Jesse Turner as well. Might have been fuel only for those guys, as everybody else taking 2 and 4 tires, a big mixture there. But after that, it's going to be Austin Murray, Sam Picard, William Duncan, kind of the way they let him in. DJ Reed, Antoine Smith, Austin Delgado, 02 Tim Foster, the 8 of Riley Spurley 2, Ben Crouch, Mitchell Collins, and Shade Eves. Here's everybody else as we cycle on back. Jake Galloway is going to try and troop it out here. No hood on the next Imaging Toyota. Josh King. Jay Jefferson doesn't look like he made too many damage repairs. DeLello is still in this fight. Bilson in there. Anderson Reed stuck on pit road. I don't know if he had any damage or what. Looks like we do have a car out. That would be... oh, a few cars out. So it looks like Brandon Morris, LJ Toledo, Jake Bruning, and Jari-Matti Happelainen are done for the day. Let's get some replays before we go back to green of the opening wreck. Slowing it down for you here down the back. Spurley 2 tries to make it 4 wide as Duncan kind of pinches them off. The 66 and the 26 here in the middle groove. They connect. They run out of real estate. Spurley 2 doesn't even get into the 26. That would have been really bad if he did. But they push each other down the track onto the apron. Delgado fully on the apron. Look at him sideways, slideways, almost drifting that thing, pushing Vargas back up the hill, and they save it. But I think everybody back here, they're just going to panic in reaction to it. Starts here about the 38. Zachary DeLello, how does he end up going around He's going to wash up a little bit here off the corner. Keeps it low. Gets into the 0. So he washed up and tried to get a straighter exit, but the 0 was coming up normally. Pushed the 38 across the track into the 54. Bolello head on into the wall. That's bruning around sideways in front of the field. Everybody's scattering, trying to avoid. Reed misses it, but Bouchard doesn't. Man, Toledo, a big hit into the side of the 54, and they all just stack up there. That's where Morris got his damage. That's where Happalainen got his damage. Just driving into this pack of spinning cars. Nowhere to go back here. You see Bilson and Yepes making contact, but Jefferson got around here. And Galloway, that's where they got their damage. The 10 and the 20 getting together. A big lick there for Jefferson, but you saw he's still out on the racetrack, so he's all right. Premium Exchange, Brad Cheston also went around. We'll get more replays of that as well. But I want to speed it up here real quick and figure out what happened between the 54 and the 47. Because they got together racing back. I mean, everybody trying to get through the mess, getting sorted, getting into some sort of order, even though it doesn't really matter. But curious as to see why these two end up getting together. Bruning kind of letting some of these guys by. Happalainen there on the bottom trying to make up ground as well. Lets the 36 by, lets the 19 by. He's coming down on the flat. Driving up. The 47's there. And the 47 hit the wall. Must have had some sort of damage from the accident to his steering or something, because he kind of just drove straight into the wall there. There's nothing around that, so that might have done more damage than the actual wreck to Happalainen, but nevertheless, he's done for the day. Let's get some more replays. This is what happened toward the back of the pack between Premium Exchange, Brad Cheston, and Jay Jefferson. Jefferson hooks his teammate in the 16, was back into the 99 and the 52. That carries them around along with Patrick Smith. Smith actually got there into Jefferson. That's kind of what pushed him into the path of Galloway, but like everybody else, they've got some minor damage in this wreck, but for other people, they've got major ones. Let's get a couple on boards before we go back to green. Jake Galloway running around here in the back of the pack. This is his view of the deck's imaging on board. Really checked up for that accident late. Tries to get going, and oh, 10's in the way. And they had to cut the hood off that Supra. Jake Bruning brings us this shot as he was working the high line. And oh man, those cars up there, they got really lucky. Oh, nowhere to go. Pushed around in the air a little bit there and just watches the carnage take place. Gets it actually straightened out pretty quickly, but the watch out there does miss Jefferson. Alright, welcome back to the Texas Motor Speedway for the running of the Butterball Thanksgiving Classic. We've had a lot to go over in these opening laps. A big chain reaction wreck triggered by Zachary DeLello, and Mac Johnson wiped a few cars out of this field. That would be the 47, 54, 44, and 39. Anderson Reed spent 2 laps on pit road with an unknown issue. And Jacob Edson must have ran over some debris. He is out with tire issues. So Logan Cloud is on the tail end of the lead lap because of when he pit due to his damage. Cycled out in front of our leaders. And our top 10 would be Christian Vargas, Jesse Turner, Austin Murray, Sam Picard, William Duncan, DJ Reed, Antoine Smith, Austin Delgado, Tib Foster, and Ben Crouch. Also saw under caution that Riley Spurley-Tube had a tire issue. I'm not sure if he is on the track or if he has gone off the track or not. Have to watch that. It said he would have been around 15th, but he ain't there, so I'm really not sure what's going on that front. But anyways, Logan Cloud leads them down to green. I'm not sure how off pace some of these damaged cars will be. We'll have to find out. Doesn't look like Vargas gets the best start. Laying back a little bit. Here comes the Chevrolets, but are they going to help each other or work together on the top? They're not. Murray uses a better start than Turner to get to his inside, and Cloud might not be a nuisance just yet. They're going to go under him already. Oh no. They're trying to go 4 wide. That's not going to work. Be careful. Oh, man. Sam Picard, an extremely aggressive move to sweep to the race lead on the restart. How about it, Sam Picard? Jumps to the race lead, and these guys are all bunched up here up front once again. Is Spurley Tube out? Yeah, he's out. So, sucks that some of these Camaros are having tire issues here under the cautions, but now it's going to be Picard's teammate, William Duncan, looking to attack. Austin Murray right there behind him as Tib Foster tries to slice by some of these guys here in the pack. Cloud's dropping back. He's lost his pace from his damage. And now the top 3 have broken away just a little bit. Vargas doesn't look too fast on this start either. Austin Murray going even lower than William Duncan through 1 and 2. It's all about these runs here through the corners. Sometimes the top is better in 1 and 2. Sometimes it's the bottom. But the bottom is the place where you want to be through 3 and 4. Are they 4 wide again? They are. Very tight. Cloud has to really back out of it. Turner and Dixon almost connect. Are they clean off the corner? They are. That's what we're making sure, that there just aren't any accidents and any more big ones. Very orderly at the front. The top 6 here in a line, but Crouch trying to change that. He's looking underneath the 0-2 of Tib Foster. They're all still packed up back here behind. Antoine Smith, Christian Vargas still losing some ground. Delgado there as well, stuck in the middle between Vince Freeze and Skylar Dixon. Now that's Spolletzer trying to get to his inside. At the front, Duncan has been upset now. That's Austin Murray, DJ Reed. The DGM racing cars trying to break up the JD Motorsports cars. They will do that. It's an all Chevy top 6 back to the Ford of Mitchell Collins there in 7th. I do want to take a look here as we'll wait on that. Murray looking underneath Duncan. Reed trying to work past Crouch, who has found some speed up there on the top side into the Brandt 7. Can't quite do it. All this battling is allowing Picard to gain some distance and drive away. Quick look to the back. DeLello off the pace heavily. Reed off the pace somewhat. Galloway seems okay, but still off the pace. We'll have to watch for those lappers in due time. Now, it's still the Canadian team, but the Canadian driver, that's Austin Murray in the 36, with his teammate DJ Reed right behind him, trying to push past the 4. Changing lines here in the corners really helping Duncan out, but it's going to prevail for DGM. They take 2nd and 3rd. Now Crouch tries to get underneath Duncan as Reed, sick of playing second fiddle to his teammate. He's underneath pole sitter Murray. Crouch looking to make it 3 wide for 2nd. He'll do so through the corner. Here we go. 3 wide. Tib Foster doesn't know who he wants to help behind. They almost made contact there between the 7 and the 90. I'm not sure if they did. If they went around, that could have wiped out a whole bunch of cars. Make some new faces there toward the back end of the top 10. That's Tommy Hurdsan working his way up there in the 5. Murray crosses over on Reed. Can't quite get there, though. Crouch is going to be clear in a second. He's going to try and set his sights on Picard for the race lead. Duncan not losing too much ground up on the top, but he's still losing a little bit. He'll have to find the bottom here soon. There might be a gap there after Collins. Almost thought about it before Collins. A massive block on the 22, but it gets him nowhere. Picard's gap is gone. Here comes Ben Crouch. If these guys can stop fighting behind them, they might have something for the 15 as well. But Tib Foster ain't giving anything. He's taken. Tries to get underneath the 90. Can't quite do it. The tires might be wearing a little bit. Foster, big check up through the corner as he carried a lot of speed in. That's going to let Murray sweep past him on the high side. Fighting back here. Vince Freeze has cracked the top 10 as well as Shade Eves. That's Theo Spletzer. Then it's Austin Delgado and Antoine Smith. Vargas has really slipped back in the 66. Kind of surprising. Now he's battling Tristan Wilhoit. And Wilhoit started like 40th, I want to say. So that's a great run by the Supra of Tristan Wilhoit. 4-car breakaway at the front. Foster's lost some ground. He's under threat from Collins and a whole train of cars behind. Where is DeLello? He's about halfway on the backstretch. We won't catch him for a while. Reed's found his speed back. He's chasing down Galloway. He's lost his. These guys back here, a little bit off the pace, but probably fine. Who else is back here? Cloud slipped back here. Looks like he's found his spot in the draft. As they are 3 wide up here. Vargas losing some more ground. Turner's lost a bunch of ground off this restart as well. Oh, man. Theo Spletzer just got hooked into the grass by Austin Delgado. They save it once again. Absolute insane car control out of that 26 for Sam Hunt. Sam Hunt Racing, right? Yeah. Austin Delgado really working that wheel. Tim Foster trying to block off a challenge from Mitchell Collins. Can't quite do it. They're orderly in the top 4, but 5th, that's where the battle is. Now Foster trying to side draft Collins off. Can't quite do it. Duncan has found the bottom like I mentioned earlier. He's going to try and look past Vince Freeze here. That would be for P8, but Freeze has other plans. The Iceman making his way underneath the Mississippi driver Shade Eves. Can't quite get there. Eves, the big run off the top through 1 and 2 prevails. He slices the inside of Tim Foster. Can he go 2 for 1 this lap? Yes, he does. What are his plans here from Mitchell Collins? Can't quite get there yet. Back at the front, Ben Crouch trying to fend off a challenge for Austin Murray. DJ Reed up to 2nd. He looks to be the strongest contender currently for Sam Picard. We got nonstop action here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Here we go. 2 by 2 for the race lead. The DGM boys trying to get 1st and 3rd. Murray can't get it, but can Reed take the lead away from Picard? DeLello is soon. It's going to be important that these guys clear him in due time. They don't want to go back there in the order. They don't want to go back in the mess of that field. Reed's not clear. Now he has Crouch to worry about. And Murray thinks it. Look at this. They're really packing him up now. Crouch is going to help Picard up on the top. The DGM boys working together. If Murray's trying to take him 3 wide, and that's actually going to hurt the 90 of DJ Reed. That gives Picard the lead. Chasing up the hill, though. Some great racing here at Texas. Picard, he's clear. He's clear. He's got the lead again. Reed has to now deal with Crouch, trying not to upset his pace. But what are they going to do with the first lapper they have yet to face? Zachary DeLello in the 38. We should see pit stops probably around lap 40. I'm guessing with when they pit. All right, Tim Foster trying to settle back in there, working side by side with Mitchell Collins. But for 2nd, Crouch to the outside of DJ Reed. They've hit DeLello. What do they do? Crouch may have made a great move by going to the outside because that holds Picard up on the bottom. But it seems like they all get checked up because nobody really gains any time. It's going to be Picard moving underneath the damaged RSS Racing Camaro. And now Reed. Does DeLello block the inside? He does. That's a massive help to Picard as he has clean air ahead of him. And all these guys behind him are all bunched up. Oh, Crouch is screwed. Crouch is really being affected. He loses spots to Shade Eves now. And now it's Collins who's going to be stuck behind the trap of that 38. DeLello's doing his best, though. He's not blocking the bottom. He's being a good lapper, doing the best he can. Foster sees this as an opportunity to get past Crouch now as they are fighting hard for 2nd. Eves trying to get up here, disrupt the Chevy stranglehold that has been the top 5 the past few times around. And now they can't quite get there. Now Crouch will be trying to set up Eves as DJ Reed settles back into 3rd. Watching the 38 fall back, not doing really anybody any harm. Just doing okay now. Antoine Smith trying to make his way back up into the top 10. Will Hoyt's cracked the top 10. He's got a fast Supra there in that 13. Back up front. Crouch might be trying to set up Eves here for 4th. Can't quite tell. The Iceman, Vince Freeze, working another Mississippian, Tib Foster. They're side by side for 6th. Looks like Tibbs going to have the run off the corner. Collins thinks better of it. Look at this. 3 wide into 3 once more. Oh, he really backs out. That just shows how worn these tires are. Really had to get onto the brake that time. Just absolutely no momentum. It seems like the outside is where you want to be making your moves now. You've hit lap 30. It's still Picard out front over Murray, Reed, Eves, and Crouch. That's your top 5. They're racing hard back here. Still 2 wide. McShane rebounding after her spin in the pileup. That would be Diego Yepes as well right behind her. As looks like DeLello's going to really bunch up this pack with Mac Johnson. No surprise, those are the two that made contact to set off the first wreck. Turner's mired back here now as well. So even though he restarted toward the front, he really fell back. And that's really unfortunate for that 0-7 team. Looking further back, Josh King kind of leading some of the wounded guy. I don't know what's wrong with Christian Vargas. Nothing's happened. He's just really slipped back. I don't understand it. He had the lead. I don't know. It's because he took fuel only or something. The tires may be doing it to him. That's what it might be for like Vargas and Turner. It might be the tires wearing off on him. And these three all damaged. Reed kind of no man's land. Galloway no man's land. And you're back up to the front. Gonna take a quick commercial break here from the Texas Motor Speedway. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few laps, probably for pit stops.
Usually, the first question is, how much power has it got? Well, it's pretty amazing. We're talking over 30 grams of delicious Butterball protein, plus turkey bacon, cheese, and don't forget the heat. Get the Butterball Victory Lap Sandwich. Nothing beats Butterball, the choice of turkitarians.
Hi, we're Ocean Spray Cranberry Growers, and we're here to talk to you about the holidays.
Right. And what would the holidays be without Ocean Spray? It's the perfect time to enjoy all of our products, like our juice or famous cranberry sauce, with your turkey dinner.
On oceanspray.com, you'll find lots of recipes and planning tips to make the holidays special.
So enjoy your holidays. Oh, and no turkeys were hurt during the making of this message.
Yet. Enjoy the sight.
For the 12 deals of Christmas, HH gave to me $199 TVs. HH Greg has Blu-ray, huge refrigerators, washer, dryer, combo, speakers and receivers, smartphones from Verizon, ovens, microwaves, the hottest gaming consoles. Must see 3D. Cameras and camcorders, laptops, home theater systems, and $199 TVs. The HH Greg Holiday Sale. See you there.
Welcome back to the Butterball Thanksgiving Classic. I had a look at a weather report. The winds are changing direction rapidly here, so that might be affecting some of these guys, but we are pretty spaced out as these tires are worn. We've already got about a second of fall off on them. Probably we'll get a little bit more. Passing is at an absolute premium. It's all about carrying your speed, and that's why guys like back here, Vince Freeze just did it. Much easier to protect your position up top, but boy, William Duncan showing how worn those tires are, really sliding up almost into the side of Herdstan. Probably not saying that right, unfortunately. Herdson, that's how I'm saying it. Herdsan. Sam Picard still controls the lead. He's been one of the dominant cars all day long, especially with these two right behind him, the 36 and the 90. Shady's has become a threat, and because Vargas didn't take tires, he's come down here early on the pit lane. So the pit cycle kind of starting there about lap 37. We've got more takers. The 38 and the 11 are in. Galloway's coming in, so we should see some of the leaders this time by. Who's it going to be? Picard. Picard's low. He's going to get an undercut, and with fresh rubber for even a lap or two, we'll probably get a massive jump on the field. Ben Crouch follows him in, as well as Turner, Fitzwater, Cloud, Jones, and others at the back. We can't jump up to the front once again. Austin Murray, DJ Reed locking up a 1-2 for DJM at the moment. Larry Hagan, their teammate, deeper in the field. Does anybody go further than lap 37 currently? It may have misjudged the runs. They're probably around 32 to 33 with this tire wear. They're going further. Murray's going further. Reed's going further. Duncan, Will Hoyt, and Delgado as well. Mac Johnson as well. But everybody else is in, like Eves, Foster, Freeze, Collins, Herdstan, and others. So these guys will be rejoining now as the 36 and the 90 lead themselves around. Looks like only 6 cars are left, really doing the overcut. This might help their tires later in the run. Do they drop it down this time? Yes, they do. So Murray is in. Reed is in. They're all in. Picard is miles from Ben Crouch, it appears, who's miles from Turner. Well, that's expected, but the gap between the 15 and the 7 is massive. Let's watch where Picard cycles out. He's got the speed, he's got the temperature in the tires compared to these guys down here. Well, geez, that was only Foster. So Foster and Collins, they're going to lose a bunch of time there to the undercut of Ben Crouch. You don't even know, because Murray and them, they aren't anywhere close to coming off a pit road. You got Fitzwater and Turner here side by side. Are they going to be able to pick off guys like Collins and Foster? Probably not, just a little bit too far back. But now, the leaders coming off a pit road. They're not even going to be through turn 1, and Picard's sweeping by already. So that shows you how much of a lead he has amassed here already as I hit my spacebar on accident. But yeah, the guys that did the overcut, they're going to lose a lot of time. Oh man, here comes Foster and Collins. They're ready to eat some of these guys up here. Around the outside, Vice is tight. Trying to make sure you don't run into these guys coming off a pit road, but they keep it clean. You're going to see the gaps here at the line. 2 seconds. But Shade Eves, look at this. Shade Eves, I don't know what pitch strategy he was on, but he's actually cycled up into second. I think he came down the second time, but it must have been an extremely good shot. Stop, if I could talk, for Shade Eves, because he's got past Ben Crouch there for a second. Or that might have shown how bad the stop was for the 7. But we got a pack here now. 22-13, they're side by side. Let's get an onboard lap or two. How about it? Let's get an onboard lap or two with Zachary Fitzwater. He's working side by side. That's Christian Vargas down to his inside, clear of him. Just see on those fresher tires how strong the inside line is, and the draft will be definitely way later on the runs when the top side really comes in as more of a factor. Man, even on them fresh tires, they're almost wide open there through 3 and 4. Fourth through 7 seems to be this little lone train right now. And we got this big gaggle of cars right here. I'm seeing that wrong. Let's take a look. So what am I seeing back here? That would be the leaders getting past Jake Galloway. That's why 4 cars were up there. So the top 3 are absolutely gone. And it's really right now the battle for 4th. Will Hoyt, he had a poor qualifying. He's not playing around. He's trying to crack the top 5 if he can make this move pull off on the DGM boys. He's going to do it. Trying to do what Jake Galloway did last season. Win from the back of the field. He's going to need some help, though, to catch the top 3. It seems like Picard's gap has gone down from when we saw it last. Jake Galloway must have held him up a little bit because Eves and Crouch have gained a second, working together, not fighting each other. They just shaved off a few more tenths. We're going to see a battle up at the front soon. We're going to keep looking here at the battle for 4th because they are going all over the racetrack. Look at this. Thought I saw Crouch move underneath Eves. Let's go to the spectator angle. You can watch it all. They're going past Picard. So Picard must have lost some speed because look at this. Crouch and Eves have swept past the 15. New leader, Ben Crouch. Not going to hit the Lapper DeLello once again for a while. Jefferson in no man's land there as well. But now Picard, what can he do in traffic? He's been the clean air car all race long. They may have gone the wrong way on the adjustments or the 7 and the 98. They've made some great adjustments. But Eves has cleared him now as well. How are they going to set up for Zachary DeLello? Looks like they've sorted themselves out of the front. Let's take a look again at fourth as they run up on Jake Galloway. 0-2, Tim Foster, 36, Austin Murray. They're clear. They're good. Side by side back here. How does Galloway fare? Got all three manufacturers here in the gaggle. Toyota, Ford, and Chevrolet. We are past halfway as well here at Texas. That's the track we're at. Yes, we're at Texas. Oh, I can see that I haven't commentated in a while. So Will Hoyt, about a lap later, is going to get clear of the 20. Collins not trying to let them catch Foster and Murray, trying to move underneath the 13, but they're not doing themselves any favors as they are side by side for fourth as well. Galloway really holding up Turner there, and DJ Reed a little bit, putting a little bit more distance between these two trains. He'll move up to the outside. He'll be all right. At the front, it's Ben Crouch, Jade Eves, and Sam Picard. They've already gotten past DeLello. So even though Will Hoyt and Collins have caught the 36 and the 0-2, they've got another lapper to deal with. How do they fare? Murray making his move early, trying to get underneath the 38. Contact with the 38. DeLello not playing around. He's trying to take some of the racing line away. Really holding up Foster, really holding up Will Hoyt. And oh boy, some of these drivers might not be happy with DeLello this time around as he's bunched up this group once again. 3 wide now behind him as Turner picks off 2 spots easily. And Tim Foster is going to be screaming on the radio at Zachary DeLello. What is he doing? Why is he holding me up? But he's clear of him now, although it's cost him about 5 spots. Picard's losing some time. I don't know what's gone wrong. Duncan's had a mechanical issue. Is he out? Oh, that's heartbreaking. William Duncan. Yeah, a valve went on the 4. Oh, man. Duncan had such a good day. He fell down the order because of stops, and now he's out. Oh, man. That's heartbreaking. Seems nothing can go right for William Duncan. I think this is his first classic as Crouch has a terrible turn, too. And Shade Eves is going to say, thank you very much. I'll take the race lead. So Crouch, I don't know what he was doing, making it interesting. Must have been really loose. Winds must still be shifting here at Texas. Because, man, he just dropped the 3rd just like that. Behind them, Murray, Reed, still there. Still trying to wait for an attack if they can make up 2 seconds. Foster settled in okay. Dylan Young, haven't talked about him all day. He's sitting there in 13th in the 11. Not doing any harm. Hagen, McShane, Antoine Smith. Smith really fell through the order as well as Delgado. Skylar Dixon been chilling in the mid-pack all day as long as with Neil, Mac Johnson. Hurdsan, Tommy Hurdsan, he was like in the top 10 earlier. He slipped back as well. Yepes has been in the back all day as well as AJ Jones. Cloud's a lap down. Now here we go. Big train of slow cars. That's the 6, the 9, the 12, 89, 08, 1752. Forgettable classics for these guys. Some first-timers in here. Cody Smart, I'm not sure if it's his first time, but Spilletzer, it's his first time. Josh King, that's his first time. And Bouchard, it's his first time. Bad day for the winners. Galloway without a hood, and Chesson just generally off the pace. Jefferson might be the next lapper these guys catch as Picard. Oh, man. Crouch and Eves, they've given him the clean air again. What is this going to do for this 15 car? See it back there. 4th and 5th. Murray and Reed, they're closing. They've gained another second. What are they gaining at this line? About a 10th. Let's go out the back bumper of Sam Picard as he works the lead, trying to drive away. I don't even think we've touched on the driver with our fastest lap today, and funny enough, that's Zachary DeLello. So the slowest car on track right now went the fastest before we saw that big accident early on. Jacob Edson, he's out of the race. He had the second fastest time as well. So tough luck there for the only drivers who went under a 28.3. Picard took the lead. He's very wide again, extremely wide. That doesn't do any of these guys any favors, but I mean, we'll be catching the pits eventually. They're falling off to about a second once and more. But look at this. They've closed. Austin Murray is back in this fight. Picard and Murray, they started on the front row. They've had two of the best cars all day long, and now it is a four-way at the front. Crouch trying to get the lead back. Can't quite do it. Murray trying to get past Eves, and the age of the tires are showing. They're screaming, let me pass, but they really don't have it in them. Murray not giving up yet. Crouch not giving up yet. Here we go, side by side for first and for third. This is going to help Reed and Wilhoit close in as well. They're waiting in the wings as well. Oh, man. We've been caution-free since early on. It'd take a lot for these guys to get together, but I wouldn't count it out of the question. And the outside getting the drive off. That's Sam Picard. He'll clear. Eves looking to clear as well. Eves trying to make a look for the lead. Can't quite get there. Thinks better of it. No look into three. Murray now under Crouch. He's trying to get something. He's sick of running fourth. He wants a top three, but I know he wants that win. Reed and Wilhoit, they're there. They're coming. They're closing. Further back, look at that. Tib Foster, he got held up, but that car's quick. The Plan B Sales Camaro, he's already worked his way back up to leading the pack, albeit 7th. DJ Reed running an alternate line. That's weird. Crouch slid up the hill. He's lost some time. And now Murray underneath Eves. Can he do it? Checking up on the bottom. Eves going to get the run off. Can't quite clear. Neck and neck. Eves had it at the line. He'll clear. He'll clear. They are crawling there through turns 1 and 2. Probably getting down to about 160. That's like the average speed of the race, and we've had one caution. But, I mean, where are they through 3 and 4? They're still about 185 entering the corner as they've fallen off to about a second and a half now. Yeah, they're still about like 10, 15 miles an hour faster than they are through the middle of 3 and 4 than they are 1 and 2. Asymmetrical, Texas symmetrical, but I got to give props to George Austria for making this track. He did a good job on it. Eves, extremely slow. He went a little bit too low through 1 and 2. Didn't have any grip. Now Murray went to the outside of Crouch. What can he do? Can he get past Eves here in 3 and 4? Eves does a smart thing. He actually blocks the top side. That's a big move, but I think he did that because Sam Picard and Ben Crouch are undercutting again, and that is going to be huge for their races. They're getting the fresh tires early once again. Fitzwater looking to gain on that as well. Ooh, pits next time by. Chestnut had already come down. Not going to matter. He's so far off the pace. Wilhoit looking underneath DJ Reed. Do the top 4 pit this time, or do they go further? They have to come in. They're not pitting. That's even bigger. That's huge. Turner's coming in. That's huge for him. Some of these guys back here who aren't pitting, they're doing themselves no favors unless they get a caution. But I'm doubting the fact that we're getting a caution. We've seen so clean once the field is spread out. So are they doing themselves a disservice by not pitting yet? Are they coming in this time? Eves is. Murray is. Will Hoyt's not. Will Hoyt's going to get a lap led. Reed's until right behind them. Looks like Collins is staying out there as well. Oh, boy. Yeah, Vince Freeze stayed out. Mitchell Collins, Tommy Hertzland, Mac Johnson. They all stayed out. Here on lap 69 of 84. Short run. They're trying to see if the overcut is better because the tires will be slightly fresher at the end of the race. We'll have to see how it works. Will the strategy work? Will Hoyt and Reed are down along with Freeze, Collins, Hertzand, and Johnson. Will Hoyt obviously pitting so far down just because of where he was. Where did the 90 go? There's the 90. We'll watch DJ Reed make his stop, likely putting on 4 tires. I don't see how you could put on 2. Right side's going up. Seems like that is taking the normal amount of time. Oh, no. A little bit slow. They took 2 tires. So Will Hoyt taking 2 tires, retaking 2 tires, Freeze and them as well. Maybe everybody took 2 tires. Well, who did? Because Shade Eves must have taken 2. Eves and Murray must have taken 2. And Crouch and Picard took 4. That's huge. Because if these guys, Crouch and Picard, they're on 4, they're going to be so much better than these guys on 2 tires. But they do have the track position for now. Tristan Wilhoit is leading the Butterball Thanksgiving Classic, coming around, 14 laps to go. What's it going to be like? They're going to probably catch Jake Jefferson here soon. Oh man, these guys, 3 seconds off the leaders. They've got the 4 tires, I believe. That's going to be huge. They're doing themselves no favors, though, by fighting each other. All right. They're trying to set up DJ Reed. Trying to get to his inside. An aggressive look. Can it make it work? Can Ben Crouch make it work? Another first timer on this classic. 2 of them side by side between a veteran, Picard. Oh, Picard really pushes Reed out of the groove there. That's big. Foster can't find any grip. Who's losing time? Priya McShane, she wrecked earlier. She's up into the top 10. How about it? But the laps are winding down. DeLello and Jefferson are going to be caught again by Will Hoyt, Eves, and Murray. They're the top 2. What can Crouch and Picard do? Last time at the line, a 28.7, a 29.1. They've got like 4 tenths on these guys. That's massive. And they can close that gap up in 10, 12 laps. They can do it. That is not the question. The question is, who's it going to be out of these 2 probably winning this race? If there's no caution. Who pit? Will Hoyt pit. He blew up. Tristan Will Hoyt blew up from the race lead. That's even more heartbreaking. Unbelievable. A gearbox went at Texas. You don't see that every day. Tristan Will Hoyt looked to try and pull off the miracle Jake Galloway did last year for winning at the back of the field, and he has an engine let go. Oh, man. The 93 Fitzwater blew up as well, and we missed that. So Zachary Fitzwater is out. He had 0.5 engine damage. I'd assume Fitzwater's out. Yeah, he's not on track. He's out. All right, 9.5 laps to go. This is now for the race lead because Will Hoyt's out. Crouch is underneath Shade Eves. He's got it. He's clear. But DeLello's going to be on the bottom. Is that going to hold him up any? No. If anything, that's going to hold up Eves, who's on the worn tires. Oh, man. So the two guys with the 4 tires are out front looking to drive away. Take a look back further in the pack. Foster's gotten past DJ Reed there for 5th. Dylan Young up to 7th. Very good run. Turner and Freeze trying to chill in the top 10 without Vargas, Collins, and Smith disrupting them. It's been quiet days for Hagen and Neal. They're basically doing nothing here. Hertz and Feldbeck, like we said. Dixon, quiet day as well as Yepes. Johnson, Spletzer back here. Cloud lap down. Delgado really fell off from the start. That's kind of disappointing. Here, Anderson Reed. I still don't know what's wrong with him that he got held 2 laps, but not a good day for the TikTok car. Bouchard, Smith, they've been slow all day. Cheston, slow. And now the leaders approach one of the quicker lap cars in Jay Jefferson. Look at that. They've already gained a second on Eves. That just shows how strong those 4 tires are. They made the right call. Now, who's it going to be out of these two taking home the turkey? They've hit the back of the Colleague Racing 10. Crouch underneath, no problems. Didn't get held up too much. That's not what Picard wanted to see. Picard needs the draft. He needs the 10 to play nice with him. But he's slow. He's slow through 1 and 2. He didn't know where the 10 was going. He backed out. He didn't want to risk a wreck. And that really helped out Ben Crouch because now Picard is going to have to work to get past the 10. Jefferson always tried to block him in 3 and 4. That didn't help him any either. But Picard should clear him here down the front quad oval. Eves and Murray nestled together right there for 3rd. And Dylan Young has taken 5th because Tim Foster blew up. We've seen a whole realm of engine issues. And Foster up the hill. Another engine failure in the 5 bracket. Really up the hill, trying to stay out of the way of these guys. Trying to find room to turn it off the track. If he runs out of time, somebody runs into him, this could be dangerous. Tries to get down, he can't find the room. Blowing up around the racetrack, if he brings out a caution, that could end it. But he's found the apron, and he should have the speed to bring it back to pit road. That's what Picard wanted to see. He'll have green flag time. He'll have 3 more laps to do it. They have driven away out front by 3 seconds. It's probably going to be like 5 seconds by the end of this thing. Foster's on the pit road. He's fine. We don't have to worry about a caution. Here comes Sam Picard trying to make the race-winning move. Can he do it? In a 1 and 2. Top side should be a little bit more favorable, but Picard slides up a little bit. Doesn't keep it on the bottom. The whole side, neck and neck. The red and the almost red cars. You could argue that Crouch is red, but it might be an orange. But Crouch uses a big swing of momentum off the top. It's going to be 2 to go, and the lapper in their way is going to be the 2018 winner, Brad Cheston. Who does he help out? Does he help them both? Does he help neither? Does he help one of them? He might determine the fate of the 3rd Butterball Thanksgiving Classic. Picard looking again in a 1 and 2. Is it going to be enough? Cheston's up high. That's not going to help Crouch any. Side by side. Across the backstretch. Crouch had the run. He's underneath Cheston. He's underneath Cheston, and he's going to be clear through 3 and 4, where Picard won't be. This is setting up perfectly for Ben Crouch, as he'll take the Coles white flag here at Texas. Lap 84 of 84. Ben Crouch, a rookie to this classic, trying to put it all together. He has to have no mistakes through this final mile. Otherwise, Sam Picard will be there to capitalize, but I think he might just be too far back. Through turns 3 and 4. Thank you, farmers. On the hood. Ben Crouch, off of turn 3 and 4, is going to do it. He sees the checkered flag. He wins the Butterball Thanksgiving Classic. Dylan Young actually passed Shade Eves and Austin Murray. Dylan Young up to 3rd. Murray's not even going to get a top 5 out of this. It's going to be Vargas and Turner, who really fell through the order, coming back to get 4th and 5th. Murray 7th, DJ Reed 8th, Vince Freeze 9th, and Mitchell Collins in 10th. Patrick Smith pit on the final lap. Can't tell we had an issue. We had another engine failure. That was Priya McShane. She went out of this race as well. So this was one for the attrition. Oh man, they really blew him up today. So Ben Crouch takes the drive in. He's done it. He has won the Butterball Thanksgiving Classic. So the last previous times we saw at California and Michigan, they were a bit crashy. We had late race restarts, but this one went green almost the whole time. And we saw how that panned out. It was a duke between the top two and Crouch and Picard to the very end. Looking at the rest of your results, Antoine Smith, Tommy Hurstand, Dusty Neal, Larry Hagan, and Skylar Dixon, your top 15. Diego Yepes, Max Johnson, Theo Spletzer, AJ Jones, and Josh King. I don't know why I keep forgetting Josh, but Josh, who runs out the top 20. Rest of your order would be Cody Smart, Austin Delgado, Zachary Bilson, and Daniel Bouchard on the lead lap. Then it was Cheston, Jefferson, Cloud, Reed, Smith, Galloway, and DeLello, who were all lapped down. McShane credited being ahead of DeLello, although she was out from an engine failure. And then 4 more engine failures in Foster, Wilhoit, Fitzwater, and Duncan. Burley, Tube, and Ensign had tires go down under the caution. And in the first track, we saw the elimination of Brandon Morris, LJ Toledo, Jake Bruning, and Jari Matti Haapalainen. That's going to do it for myself here at the Texas Motor Speedway. We saw a wild one here for the 3rd annual Butterball Thanksgiving Classic, but can't thank you enough for watching. Like I said, I'm doing more stuff with the NSDCA. If you don't know them, go check them out. But for now, signing off here from Texas. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Who pit? Will White pit? He blew up!